welcome Malibash Media. We have with us today a very awesome guest, Tiffany Roman, who is not only a podcaster, but and has her own app that just launched, by the way. She also has her own TV show. So we're gonna have her share with us today what she did and how she got to where she's at. Because I think most of us growing up, we've always wanted to be famous or have her own TV show, and Tiffany has actually made that come to life. So, Tiffany, congratulations and welcome to Malibash Show. And yeah,
Thank
tell us a
you.
little bit about your business, and we'll kind of launch off from there.
All right. Well, okay. So first off, hi. My name is Tiffany Roman. I am a 17-year Army vet, mom of two crazy kids that you might hear in the background. So I apologize ahead of time. Um, and now apparently a entrepreneur in a business I had no intention of ever being in, and it just kind of happened. So back during the pandemic shutdowns, back in April of 2020, I was working full time. Shutdowns happened. We were all working from home, trying to figure out what was going on. But all I could focus on was what are these small businesses going to do? How are they going to let people know that despite the shutdowns, like they're still capable of servicing them, helping them out with products, what have you? Um,
Mhm.
a lot of them that are so used to customers coming into their brick and mortar businesses, that face to face interaction that now has been forced from them, basically. So I called up a few of my friends and, I reached out to them, told them, I understand that word of mouth is huge. And according to things I read about Facebook, videos get more interactions. So, how would you feel about going live with me? We'll just talk about you, your business, and then we can talk about how they can support you during the pandemic and whatnot. And actually, there were a few of them that were into it. So that's how it started, actually. So on April 20th was my first episode, and it's been going strong ever since. So on each episode, I focus on introducing the person. So I make them introduce themselves by asking them who are they. I'm really big on the idea that people do business with people because they build a connection with them in some type of way. They
So
were
true.
connected to the way their professionalism or something in their personal life that they happen to get wind of or something. So having the person, where'd that go? Oh, having the person introduce themselves directly, gives that opportunity for people to get that connection because it's totally different when it's coming from me. Reading off
Hmm.
a paper as far as something that's what somebody wanted me to say about them. You know what I mean? You just
Yeah,
can't fake it when you're put on the spot and asked, "Who are you?" It's
it's
pretty funny
true.
because some people get really thrown off guard. They know the question is coming, I promise. I at least tell them that. But some of them are so like, "Wow, who am I? What should I say?" It's up to you. That's the whole beauty of the
Hmm.
question. It's so open-ended. And then, of course, I ask them about their business, their products, their services, and then we talk about how COVID affected them.
That's really cool because I think COVID kind of helps to give that backstory too, where everybody's gone through it, right? And so connects that camaraderie that you have, and it has affected so many people and so many businesses that it's a pandemic in of itself, like with the way it affects
Yes.
all the businesses. So I think that's really fantastic that you have helped to bring that out and people can connect better to it because I don't think people understand a lot about what small businesses even go through. The processes and the taxes and employees, hiring, fire, all that stuff is
Oh,
really
yeah.
intense. And then you throw on top of it a pandemic or anything that is a dip in the economic system, and it just makes it complicated. So I think that's really that you have helped to bring that, and it sounds like it's really a huge hit, with so many people out there because they want to learn the behind the scenes. I think that's the one thing about TikTok and has kind of helped to bring the untouchable to people's lives and making it more personal for them. So I really think that's a fantastic, cool way of getting the word out there and having a great show around it. That's fantastic. So, and you've
Thank you.
now created, well, you got your podcast and that you had over 12,000 downloads within a couple months, which is absolutely 1,200. I'm sorry, I keep saying thousand.
Yeah. No, it's
12,000,
okay.
that's coming up. That's going to be 2022.
That would be amazing, but I'm happy with the 1,200 for now, considering I just
Yeah.
launched the podcast in August of this year, so I'm happy with that.
What was the driving force behind, getting started with podcasts? Is it something that you always wanted to do, or was it something that you just decided, you know what, hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it now. Like this is a great time to do it. And why small businesses?
Okay. So, like I mentioned, I started it because I just could not leave these businesses without a way to get the word out about what's going on with them. Especially in a time where, because we were all locked in our houses and not able to leave, we were pretty much dependent on the media and social media to let
Yeah,
us know what's going on in the world. That was a very
exactly.
scary time.
Yeah,
So I started out with a web show, going live, Facebook mainly. Then it evolved into YouTube and other platforms. Um, Going live there first, like I said, because of the whole idea that, on social media, videos get more um, popularity on, on Facebook and whatnot for people to end up watching it. And there was a time where it got to the point where it was getting harder to find people who would be willing to go live with me. And, I had just recently lost my job too, unfortunately. During the pandemic, I ended up having to make the choice to resign because my job was not willing to let me keep working from home. No daycares were open to take care of the kiddos. It was just a mess. So ultimately, I made the decision to, quit my job and stay home. And I just was a little lost. I'm not going to lie. But then I decided, okay, I'm going to test fate here and put up a post on a couple Facebook groups, mainly veteran ones, because I'm a veteran, obviously, and put it out. Hi guys, I am doing this interview thing on Facebook. It's free. It's for small businesses. If you would be interested, just let me know below. So I went from having one episode a week and maybe, I believe, two people pre-scheduled for interviews to having to add a second episode during the week, and then being booked on all the way through March of 2021, and it was only
amazing.
September.
Wow, that's
So,
amazing.
obviously the need was there, and, the universe just threw back at me and said, "Ha ha, you asked and I made it happen." So, I don't play with the universe anymore.
That's
Um
true. The universe will get you in certain ways, right?
Gosh, yes. But, so mainly it just started out as the web show, as I call it. I didn't want to call it a podcast because it just felt awkward. Podcast to me automatically just means, audio. I was doing video. But
Mhm.
then during the during the pandemic, I was taking a lot of free classes. Um, all those free pop-ups that came up on Facebook with how to educate yourself and whatnot. Always trying to grow my knowledge on how to make this show a lot better because obviously it was sticking around. I was booked through March of 2021. I had to get my stuff together.
Love
Um,
it.
and there was one about podcasting. And, there was a gentleman who I kind of gave my little background as to the show. And he kind of threw it at me in a way that just made sense. Okay, you're doing the videos, that's great, but not everybody has time to sit down and watch a video. What if you were to just take the audio from your recordings and make it into a podcast so that way, people can catch it that way while they're doing other stuff, driving in the car. And it was just like one of those moments like, duh, but at the same time like that's genius. Why didn't I think of that before? And,
Mhm.
with the whole purpose of the show being about small businesses, they're the main focus and always will be. Getting their names out there, helping people understand what their businesses are actually all about, what's going on with them from their point of view and whatnot. So I was like, well, that's just even more exposure. So why not? So that's what I did. I got to work on downloading all the audio, uploaded it as of August of 2021. And yeah, I have every single episode. So as of last Monday, I had 109 web show episodes. So technically,
Wow,
I
that's
should have
amazing.
109 podcast episodes, 2 seasons technically. I don't know if that's how everybody else does it, but I cut off my seasons at my 1 year anniversary. My 1 year
That's how a lot of people
anniversary,
do.
like show or whatever that I put on is the end of the season, and then the next season starts the next week. So I'm really excited. It's been a journey, a very big learning experience simply because, like I said, this was nothing that I intended on doing with my life at all. Now, I don't see myself doing anything else now, but I also just never intended doing this for a full-time job or a business. I mean, it's even mutated into a digital TV show, which
It's amazing.
it's just craziness. It's craziness. So yeah, I do the web show every Monday. By Tuesday, the podcast is usually uploaded, and I have a TV show on Roku devices.
That's amazing. And I know you've gone into this a little bit. What preparation do you put into your shows? Like, tell us the backstory, because I don't think a lot of people
Oh
understand
gosh,
what goes into creating even a podcast, right? But you do more than that. It's not. I don't love the whole like the name podcast. It just means audio, right? But like you said,
right?
but it's so much more than that. A lot of people don't just do the
Yes,
podcast audio, they do the video, and they do the series, and they have people that come on and speak, and they've got so much more that goes, their own products and things like that. It's like they're basically like your own TV show. So yeah, what goes into an episode of your TV show?
I think even myself, when I first started, I took a lot of that for granted. It's so easy to assume that all you're doing is just saying, "Hey, meet me at this website. We'll press live and we'll go live." That's it. There,
Hmm.
it's so much. It's so much work. It's so crazy. And then especially if it becomes your passion like it has for me, you wake up every morning with some new idea or some new connection that's going to help you grow it even further. And now you've got to add something else totally different to your business. Now, mind you, I was at this point when the universe decided to smack me with all these amazing guests for my future. I was a mom working from home as a I was unemployed for the first time in a long time. I've worked pretty much every year of my life since I was about 12. My first job was a paper girl. I didn't know what it was to just sit around and not have a job. It felt awkward to me. Um, and now all of a sudden I'm building this empire that is small biz highlight because there's no other way to explain it now because I have so many different aspects of it, and it's a lot of preparation. There's the graphics that you have to learn to create to and it's not just creating the graphics, you have to know what sizes they are because everywhere you're going to post it is a different size. Then there's deciding what you're going to talk about. I keep my show very conversational. I don't like to plan out questions per se, simply because it'll just feel scripted to me, and I want it to be real. I want people to, you know, get the real connection and responses from these people right there on the spot. And it's really hard to fake it on TV. As much as you think it would be easy, because we see so many other people do it on TV out there. I'm telling you, for someone like me, it's hard. You would see through me in no time if you were to see it, have me try to script it, and I'm looking down, wonder, wait, you can't be talking about that yet. That's the next question. Calm down. It would drive me crazy. So, so yeah, I just wanted to keep it conversational, friendly, and although some people found it very uncomfortable at the beginning of the show, towards the end, they were oftentimes thanking me for it because they realized it was so much easier to talk to me that way. They weren't
Hmm.
waiting for the next question so that they were thinking about what their response was. They were just talking to me. being passionate about their
Right.
business and having that freedom to do it. So that's
Yep.
always been a great aspect of my show, and one that I'm definitely gonna keep doing for as long as they'll let me. But I mean, there's when I was first starting out, I didn't have very much money, obviously, because I was jobless. So I didn't even have equipment. I didn't have the special lighting. I didn't have a microphone that people always think they need. I was just working with my Surface Pro, my Microsoft Surface Pro. Sorry if that's not allowed out there, universe, saying a brand name. But I had a Microsoft Surface Pro, a little mini tablet that I used for my microphone, my video, for going live, connected it to the Wi-Fi, and just did it. And then thanks to StreamYard, it just made it super easy to stream live and grow with it that way. And I use StreamYard for everything. I use StreamYard for the web show, the podcast, because I can download the audio straight from them. And then I even use it to record my digital TV show episodes. So it's been a
That's
godsend
amazing.
for me, to be honest.
That's amazing. What other platforms have you tried as well, or has it just been Restream?
Uh I did. Okay, so there was a time where StreamYard did not have the ability to restream previous episodes. There was a time and place where I was using Restream for that purpose solely. But now
Okay,
they do. So they've actually made it possible where they pretty much are the only platform I need, to be honest. And
that's awesome.
I'm very grateful to them. I host events even for Small Business Saturday every year, and they were even nice enough to sponsor me this past year. So,
That's
I'm just really
amazing.
looking forward to growing with them and building upon the business and just keep on making it look more professional as I go, because a lot of the stuff that I have for the show is not even stuff I've done for myself.
Right.
The
Well,
intro I have for my web show, I didn't create that. Somebody else did. It's
wow,
called networking people. Somebody I interviewed on the show said, "I really love what you're doing for small businesses. Can I make you an intro?"
wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Sure. What do you need from me? Like,
Mhm.
why
Yeah,
not? You know, hey, it's been so great to get that kind of response from people that, not only that I've interviewed, but people who I haven't even interviewed yet, just reaching out, "Hey, I really love what you're doing for small businesses. How can I help?"
mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
that's not something you get all the time in this type of business, but when you do, it's like, "Really?" Like, at first, you're kinda like, "Okay, what's the catch?" But then when they're like, "No, sincerely, how can we help you?" That's something you just have to treasure in that very moment and
that's amazing.
recognize that it's kind of like the universe telling you, "See, told you, keep going. This is what you're supposed to be doing."
Yes.
So, yeah, those have been my little moments of, "Yep, you're good. Keep going."
Well, you keep showing up, and if you keep showing up for what you need to do and you stay consistent and you put in so much work, doing all the background and getting the speakers on and doing so many different platforms of social media, it's a lot, and you stay consistent. And that's, the universe is basically just saying, "Hey man, this is great, keep going." Um, so I think hats off to you, Tiffany. That's absolutely fantastic. Because a lot of people, they'll have great ideas and they'll get started and they don't finish or they don't keep going and they wonder why am I not seeing the results, and you can't just start something and hope to, be a one night hit wonder overnight. That was kind of redundant, but anyways, like, you get what I'm talking about.
No, yeah,
So
I understand.
yeah, but you have to show up and you have, and that's absolutely fantastic. We have a question from the audience.
Oh
He
god.
Question is, ask her about Throwback
Mac.
Thursday.
I always yell at Mac because I wish his name had more effective syllables, like, to make his name sound when I'm mad. Like, Maccabee, you can't sound mad when you say Maccabee. I need, like, a TH in there or something where
It's
you can
true.
enunciate a little bit better. Anyway, um um, Throwback Thursday. So, been at this for close to 2 years now, and I actually had a couple previous guests ask me, "Hey, can I come back on your show?" And I'm like,
Mm.
I never really thought about that. I mean, I guess." And I was like, "Wait, time out." That actually makes a lot of sense here. Like, I came up with the idea for Throwback Thursday to start from the beginning again on Thursdays,
Mhm.
go back to episode 1, season 1,
Yeah.
and revisit my previous guests, see where they are 2 years later or a year later, however long it is between then. And, seeing where they are, what new things have been happening, if they're still in business, if not, what happened, if they're willing to talk about it, of course. But just really get the lowdown on how they're doing, if being on the show has impacted them in any way. Because that kind of stuff would just mean so much to me. It would revalidate the whole process of what I'm doing and everything I'm working on a daily basis to just keep it
Yeah.
going. Um, and also just give me a really great opportunity to catch up with all of them, because I have a group where we talk and stuff, but life and businesses, especially when you're a small business owner, just life gets in the way all the time, and it's
Yes.
so hard to stay in touch. So I'm just gonna force them to come on the screen with me and be like, "Hey, so now catch up with me. What's up? How you doing?" No,
I love it.
I just thought
Yeah.
it would be a really cool idea, so I'm really
I think
excited
so
about that.
too. People like to know where, the backstory, right? The where they are now, and that's huge. So I think that's a really great idea to kind of follow up with, especially if people are already asking for that. That means you're doing a really great job. So they want to come back on, they've seen results, and they would like to have you, have you forward them again, basically, in their endeavors. So that's fantastic. I love it. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks. Yeah,
Um,
I'm excited.
What's your favorite part of the journey so far?
Mm,
If that's even a thing.
my favorite part of the journey. Um, I think recording the episodes, if that even makes sense. Like, okay, everything else is a lot of fun. I've been getting a lot more better at editing videos. I've been teaching myself how to do just everything about this business by myself. And I, you know, have really had a great time putting all that love and energy into what I put out, so that, people can see that I put a lot of time, and I'm very passionate about this, that they could see it through whatever posts I put up, whatever videos I'm putting up and whatnot. But I think the my favorite time is just going live
Mhm.
and talking to someone, and being in that moment, just answering their questions or them asking me questions. Um Yeah. No, that's my favorite part. The TV
Yeah,
show is pre-recorded, so you would think that that's less stressful because it's not live, but it actually
right.
I have more anxiety with the pre-recorded episodes than I do the live episodes.
Mhm.
Um, but no, getting to hear their stories and being able to be a part of the journey of recording it and putting it into a package where potentially so many other people could listen to it.
Yeah,
That feels really good.
that's awesome. And I know it's a huge blessing to many businesses out there for sure. Um, what are some things that you would wanna tell your younger self, or people in the audience that are looking at getting into creating their own uh, TV show or product, or, their podcast channel, whatever they're looking into, what would be best practices that you would share with them about the business?
Okay. I'm usually the one asking question, guys. So give me a second. This is no,
I found myself getting on somebody else's show the other day and was like, "Oh, what would I talk about?" But because
it's
I'm usually
so
the one
awkward.
asking questions.
It's so awkward being on the opposite side of the spectrum here. No, so this is something I've actually grown more passionate about in the last few months, as far as telling people about giving them feedback or advice about starting their own show, whatever type of show it may be, the web show, podcast, digital TV show, what have you. Um, like I told you before in the earlier part of the episode, I started with no money and a little mini Surface Pro tablet thingy, and free versions or trials or whatever of all these programs to help me get the show rolling. So, I would say for anybody who's ever thought of launching a web show, maybe you don't want to be seen, but you want to be heard, a podcast is perfect for you. Or, maybe you want to find out what it takes to be on a digital TV show. I have the hookup, just saying. But anyway, it's not as uh it's not as hard as people think it can be. You don't have to dish out so much money to get started. You don't
Mm,
have to have all the fancy equipment. Sure, it's nice as you develop with the show. But just to get started, like you said earlier, there's so many people who start and never keep going. There's so
yeah.
many more people who just never even put that first episode out. They're thinking about it. They want to do it. They dream about it. They know they want to talk and whatever, and then something holds them back, no matter whatever that is. It could be doubt. It could be just that they're nervous. They don't know if people would want to listen to them. Um,
Yeah.
whatever their reasons are, I know there's so many different ones for so many people. But just getting out that first episode is key. For once you're done with the first episode, it's out there. They know you exist. They know the show exists now. Now, from then on, it's up to you to keep going.
Mhm.
Don't think that one episode is what's going to launch you into, the universe. Everybody's going to know who you are. No, that's never how it works. Come on, guys.
No.
I don't know any show in general that they put one episode out and they're making millions of dollars. That's just not how it works. I'm
Right.
not making any money yet. But that's because I give my interviews for free, guys. So, you just but this is what I'm passionate about. This is
Mhm.
what I wake up every morning thinking, "Okay, what else can I do to make this better?" Because I know this is what I want to keep building, what I want to keep growing with, what I want to, you know, sustain me going forward.
Yeah.
And, showing up, like you said, Ashley, I being there every day, being consistent with it, and
Yeah.
just making sure that it's that one thing you can be passionate about, no matter how many days you wake up going into working on it. Then that's when you've got a winner. But that first episode, once
Yeah.
you've got the first one in, now what other excuses you have? You might as well just keep going. Figure out what works for you and live life on your own terms with it.
I love that. That's fantastic. I mean, you got your I love how you said you started your own show. You started your first episode. So just go with it. So keep going. Because that's the hardest part is just the consistency. I know for me
It
especially.
is.
Consistency is hard, especially when you get into a rut or something tragic happens in your life and you're just like, "Man, do I continue going on? Is it worth it?" But I remember talking to Sharon Coleman, and she's just a really great, thinker on the positive thinking. And she's like, "You're almost there. You're pushing that momentum like a bucket of water. You have to kind of give that momentum before it spills out." And that's just the
Yes.
way it is with anything. You have to stay consistent and you will see the results. It will come. It's not going to be that one hit wonder necessarily. And if you are, you still have to be able to continue that wave or continue in it. And so many of the one hit wonders, especially in Hollywood or in big, the big music festival, anything like that, a lot of times they have trouble after they get big so fast because they never
Yes.
had the consistency of getting up to that point, and they don't know what that life even looks like. So for them, they were hit overnight. What does that mean after that? That sets you up for so much failure in a way, just such mental trauma. So yeah, you just got to show up and keep going and stay
Oh,
consistent. That's I love
absolutely.
how you
You
said that.
know,
So
and I have to tell the story because you kind of um you mentioned how it's really hard to put out your very first episode. So,
mhm.
my first episode, was stressful. I was nervous. If you think I look comfortable on camera, that's the only thing I'm able to fake on camera right now. I like have to take a deep breath before going live. But before my very first episode, I was literally doing Lamaze behind the camera
Oh.
before pressing the go live button. Ooh, breathing in and out. My guest thought I was. My guest was so nice. He was so supportive. But there was something other than just going live that was bothering me that day.
Mm.
So I was ready to go, was trying to hype myself up, listening to music, putting my makeup on, trying to look all nice and whatnot. And I got a phone call from my stepdad that it was an hour before I was gonna go live, and he called to tell me that my grandfather had passed away.
Mm.
And although my grandfather lived a very long life, we knew that he was declining. We just didn't expect it to happen so fast. And anyway,
Oh gosh.
so I had just I just learned my grandfather passed away, and I remember the guest asking me if I wanted to hold off, cancel for the day,
Mm-hmm.
and my grandfather was someone who would always be the first to remind you of the little things you did wrong in life, but in a joking kind of way, like I left a ice cream cake in the fridge instead of the freezer. Anyways, he'll never let me live that down, even in death. But just he was always there to support me in everything. He always had my back. He took me to go get my driver's license. He was
Oh,
always there for me.
that's so sweet.
Very supportive. And I was going through a really tough time, and he was always the one to say, Tiffany, the universe has been really beating you up lately. I think it's time that they start paying out. What do you
Mm.
think? I'm like, oh, we'll see, Grandpa, we'll see. So when I found out that he died, I went and I heard the guest telling me that we could cancel. I couldn't help but think, no, no, I'm sorry, no. My grandfather will literally haunt me for the rest of my life if I don't take this chance.
Yeah.
It may amount to nothing. It may just last 10 episodes and be done. I had no idea of knowing that from that very first day. Um, I had no idea if it was even going to last the one episode. I could have been a horrible interviewer. You know what I mean? I didn't know what I was doing, but I took the chance. I told the guy, "Nope, I feel like my grandfather would haunt me, hit me upside my head for the rest of my life if I never took this chance." So, despite all that, I took the leap, recorded the first episode, and yeah, now I'm still here, and every time I have something new happen, I dedicate it to him. So the first digital TV show episode has a little excerpt at the beginning dedicating the episode to him. Um, you know, said a little prayer for him when my app launched. Guys, I have an app. Like I don't I have an app, like an official app. Like you don't even have to go searching for me all over social media to find my episodes, to find my swag. Cause yeah, I've got that too. You could buy t-shirts, sweatshirts, phone cases. I mean, I anyway. So, everything new that happens in the business, I always make sure that it's dedicated to him because it started with him in a way.
That's
And
amazing. Mm.
so don't
And I
don't
know
think
he
for
loves that.
1 second that starting my first episode was easy. I promise you it wasn't. I can prove it to you in so many different ways. But
No,
I mean,
that sounds really
I
tough.
if anybody may be watching this that is having doubts or whatever and wants to, talk it out, whatever, try to see if this is even something that they should be considering. I mean, I'd love to, help them out, talk them through it, give them my point of views on stuff, how I was able to do it with kids in the house and climbing all over me like a jungle gym while I'm talking to people. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lifestyle, but it's a lot of work and it's definitely something you need to be ready to build upon every day. But if you're ready for the journey, if you think you're willing to at least give it a chance, then sure, I'd be willing to help anybody out.
I love that. That's amazing. And I know I was going to ask you where we could find you, but you already kind of said it, like the app. You can find everything
Everywhere.
there. I downloaded your app and I love it because it lets me know when all your new stuff comes out, and you've got your own website and everything. But the easiest place to find it is the app, and it is available on Google Play and Apple, correct? I know it's on Apple. I think
Yes.
but yeah.
Yeah, so all the web show episodes, all the podcast episodes, digital TV show episodes, you click on them and it links you to the digital TV show episode on the networks app, the TV networks app. And then I'm even building so much more to it too. Like there's just so much more coming. And then I'm literally taking over the weekend of shopping after Thanksgiving. Like, I'm sorry, I'm taking it over next year. You just have no
That's
idea. But
awesome. I was
Small
going to
Business
ask you, what is
Saturday
your
is
next plan?
morphing into like this megazord, and I'm really excited about what's going to happen next year. There's just so much going on. It's crazy.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you what your next plans were.
Oh, okay. So I'm in the military. For the next 6 months, I'm going to be on active duty. So working full time, technically again, while doing the show. I do want to start working towards building a coaching business for people who may be interested in starting their own show, getting them from, the idea to their first episode launched is my goal. And then, really focusing on Small Business Saturday for sure. Small Business Saturday, I started doing a live vendor event that's virtual where I go live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of the above, and stream for 12 hours straight, featuring a new business every 20 minutes or so, giving them a 15-minute kind of infomercial kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's been a really great time. It's been so much fun. And now, thanks to a really great program, it's just taken a life of its own, basically, and giving so many more opportunities to really make it easier for people to connect with the vendors themselves. It not just be on social media, but on a platform where they could locate them easier. They have their own like virtual vendor booth, stuff like that.
Wow.
I mean, there's going to be so much to it that, now I don't even have to limit it to just Small Business Saturday. I could have the live event for Saturday, but I could start Friday and go through Cyber Monday and have the whole weekend taken over to make it completely virtual.
That's
So
amazing.
that's what I'm really working on, and, getting out there and finding vendors so that my hope is to get big honchos to be vendors so that for every vendor they make it possible for two small businesses to be a vendor for free. So that's the goal there. So
That's
wish
amazing.
me luck. Wish me luck.
Oh
I need a
yeah.
lot of it.
No, you get it. You got it. God, you definitely are gonna to do amazing, and you've come so far in such a short period of time. And I know it may not feel like it, but yeah, you've done really, really great. So thank you so much, Tiffany, for sharing and being an inspiration to so many other people out there, because it's a lot of times people, we're afraid to step out into that out of the comfort zone, and you've done that, and you stayed consistent with it, and you can see the results now, and you're about to hit, really, really big out there soon. And soon everybody's going to be like, oh wow, that's Tiffany Roman, I know her, and you'll be
Oh
on the
gosh. I've already had it once. I went to a random networking event and some lady came up to me and was shaking my hand. She goes, "You look so familiar." And
oh
I said, "Hi, my name's Tiffany. I'm with Small Biz Highlight." Oh my gosh, I watch your show. That was the most awkward moment, but kind of fulfilling moment at the same time. It's like, wait, you know my
wow,
show?
that's amazing. Oh
Just
my
once.
gosh.
Hopefully it'll happen a lot more. Especially because, I've interviewed people not just from the US,
Huge.
but from the UK, Canada. I mean, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Wow. And you've opened up so many doors, so many friendships. That's fantastic. You know, a lot of times I don't think you realize you can do a lot of networking by having people on your show, and you know, you create those
It's
relationships with
true.
them, and yeah, later on down the
It's kind
road,
of a
you know,
forced meeting.
exactly. Yep. Yeah, it is, and it opens up doors that you wouldn't naturally think you have, um, in a normal setting, you know? It's really, really cool how many doors it'll open up. So that's exciting. I'm really excited for you, and it's funny that you say that somebody's actually already recognized you because I've been with producers that have created so many films, and they don't I mean, like, I never even saw them get recognized once. So I think it's really
Yes.
cool that, you know, that and they were in their movies too. So, like, yeah, that's really fantastic. How exciting. Good for you, girl. And
It was pretty exciting. It was still a little awkward. I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was like, "Am I blushing? I can't tell." No, but it just means a lot to me because,
yeah,
as great as it is to be recognized, as great as it is to be, pointed out and whatnot, since day one, the show has been about the small businesses. So me being recognized, the show being recognized, just means that all 109 episodes that I have up so far are being recognized as well. That's potential for all of them to, get looked at, the interview be viewed, maybe their services be reached out to, being reached out to for their services, their products, what have you,
yeah,
from people they may not have ever in the first place had the chance to link up with had it not been for my show.
yeah,
I'm still learning all the technicality with reach and all those number things in the background. But I always tell each guest, I I'm giving you my interview for free with the hope that you at least get one. If
mm,
I can get you just one person to reach out to you or ask you a question or become a new contact for you, then I feel like I've at least helped you and your business with that one person because that one person could turn into so many more potential
mhm,
customers just from that one contact. So, and I'm so thankful for all 109 of my guests so far that, have embraced that with me and have
yeah,
trusted me with their stories. And, I'm forever grateful. Looking forward to the future and all the all the interviews I have upcoming.
yeah, fantastic, and you will have many more. So thank you so much, Tiffany. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show, and it's been a great way to start out the new year for I know many people as that is coming up really soon. And just want to wish everybody a happy new year, and we'll see you back here next time. And I know we'll have Tiffany back on the show as well to see where she's at in probably a couple months. So that'll be exciting. Thank you guys. Have a great new year.
Happy New Year, everybody.